Hey all you crafty peeps, check it out. Today I'm going to show you how to make your own cloche hat like you see in Downton Abbey, just using this packing paper that you probably have around the house anyway. Or if you don't, I'll show you how to get that. Either way, we're going to have fun and we're going to create your own cloche hat today using just this, your imagination, maybe a few touch-up things like this ribbon and a flower. So let's get started. Okay, so the first step is I'm going to get these balloons from the Dollar Tree. They're multi-size rounded balloons, and you want to take the bigger one out that looks like this. It's usually this fleshy color here, and you want to blow it up. And before you tie the bottom, what you want to do is just twist it and slip a paper clip over it, because if you don't have it the right size, you might have to let a little air out, so we don't want to tie it yet. So to make sure it's the right size, you want to take a tape measure and wrap it around, and generally, depending on your head size for a hat, you need to measure your head first, but you go around the balloon at the widest part and wrap around the tape measure. In this case, this is 27 inches. Well, my head is only about 22 inches, but I'm going to let a little air out and leave it to about 23 to 24 inches, because I can always make it smaller on the inside by adding fabric, but I can't make it bigger very easily, so I'd rather go a little bigger than a little smaller. So to do this, I'm just going to let a little bit of air out, right, and then twist it again, put the paper clip over it again, and just remeasure to make sure I got it to be about 23-24 inches. Okay, so once you get it to the size that you're looking to get it to, of course you tie the bottom and just put it back in the bowl. And I forgot to mention, you always want to use a bowl to hold the balloon in place. We're going to cut the paper needed to cover this. Okay, so you can use whatever paper you have. In this case, I have this Amazon mailing pouch, and it's 2 layers here, so I'm going to get 2 circles out of this. I'm just going to go ahead. I had this Dollar Tree tray, and it's 13 inches in diameter, so you basically want something that you can trace a circle around is 13 inches in diameter, and cut out both of these circles. And if you don't have an Amazon mailing pouch, you might have packing paper like this. This will work also. And once you have this cut out, you can set it aside. We're going to take this Honeycomb packing paper that I also got in a package, and I'm upcycling it. But you can get these also on Amazon, this Honeycomb paper, if you don't have any and you want to make this project. And that'll be in the link below as an Amazon affiliate link, and also any supplies needed for this I'll list below as well with their links. Alright, moving forward, what you want to do is take this Honeycomb paper, smooth it out best you can with your hand, then do the same thing, trace it with the pen, and go ahead and cut out the circle. Okay, so next you want to take this hard coat Mod Podge, and I use the hard coat because it dries quicker. Take the Mod Podge, take your little airhead here. So take this first round circle without the slots, and you want to paint the top of your balloon, put the bottom down in there. Paint the top of it on the top and around the sides. And then you want to take this paper and put it around it in the middle and work your way down. When you get to the edges, you want to kind of press this down like this and fold it almost like when you're gift wrapping a gift. Just fold it like that on both sides. You can see that. So in the front and the back, you want to do that. Okay. You can take the Mod Podge while it's still wet underneath, and you can go ahead and apply it like this. Now when this is all dry, you want to flip it over, let the little belly button stick up. And make sure you get a lot of the Mod Podge over top of the brown so that the paper sticks to the over top of the brown paper. Alright, once you get that all coated, take your piece and you center it best you can, but more importantly is to get it to cover all the brown on the edges. Okay, so once you have it pasted all on here, you want to just as it dries, go back and kind of keep pressing it as it dries to the brown to make sure it sticks to the under paper. We'll let that dry overnight, and then we'll be back. So next, you want to expose the little belly button here on the balloon. It's going to go ahead and pop this at this point. And it's going to cave in as it goes. But that's okay, because we're going to cut this away anyway. And just let it do its thing. Go in here. Just trim a circle off this section here. We have a hole big enough, you can pull that flattened balloon out of the center. Once you have the balloon pulled out of the center, you're going to put your hand in there and reform the shape of it into like a hat shape. What we're going to do is we're going to cut some more of this back. We're just going to go ahead and trim this back a little bit more to about where it would be that you could slip it down over your head. And you just want to kind of curl back this edge a little bit, because what we're going to do is slip a ring around the top of this so that we'll have a brim around the bottom. But we just wanted to get the part where you could put it over your head. You do want to see if it's going to fit over your head, and if it doesn't, take a little bit more off, stretch it out a little bit, maybe make a few slits before you put your brim on that we're going to make. Okay, so now that you have this and you tried it on to see is it going to slide over your head, now you want to get yourself another balloon and blow it up to the same size that you had the other one. And this one, I took off a cherry wrapper that had eyes and I just made it into a cute little character, but I'm going to name her Stella. Anyway, so Stella, you want to put your hat over the balloon thing just as a holder. Just slip it over their head to help keep it shape while you work, okay? So, looks like Stella has a shower cap on. At any rate, that's what you want to go for, because you want to keep it stretched out while you work. Okay, so once you have your balloon head model, you got it on there securely so that it keeps the shape. You want to curl the edges up to the best you can, and then we're going to move on and we're going to cut another circle like we did before with that 13-inch, whatever you used. I used that tray, and then we're going to make the brim to slip over top of this. Circle to put over top of this, again with your 13-inch thing. So we'll just let that sit on there, put that, and then Mod Podge it together. You want to take your plastic mat or whatever you're protecting your table with, put it back underneath where you're working. And by the way, these are cutting boards I got from Amazon. If anyone's interested, I'll put the link below on that one. I'd like to take a minute just to thank all my subscribers for hanging in with me. I know I take a minute to make videos, but I really appreciate your support. And if anybody has any comments or anything, I appreciate if you could comment below so I know what's on your mind. As a follower, I'd like to know what interests you. So if you could do that, I'd really appreciate it. And now we'll get back to the project. So we want to take the Mod Podge and kind of just, don't put it down here on the rim because it's just going to drip through. You just want to kind of seal where it meets up on the bottom here initially, and pull it upward a little bit. So now I'm applying the Mod Podge all over this top part as well as where it meets up here, and if it slips off, just pull it back up a little. Then you want to take your circle that you just cut and you want to put it over it like this, and you always want to line the grains up with the way the grains are already faced on the hat. So these are going this way, as you can see, so whenever I put this on, it's got to line up with that to look right. And just smooth it out. And then I'm going to take more Mod Podge and apply it starting at the middle, working my way down, trying to get it to meet up with the brim on every side if you can. You want to do the package wrap thing like this on the ends where this is. So once you have it down the center and the edges puckered like that, you want to pull this up over this like this to make it stay better all the way around. Put your rim up over top and dab on the Mod Podge to seal the two pieces together. Take and cut another ring out like you did for this down here. And this time we're going to slip it over the top. But first, we're going to take some Mod Podge. We're going to paint it at the base here where the rim meets up with the hat. bring the Mod Podge out to the edge as you go. Have that coated with Mod Podge. Take your ring and slip it over. Make sure that the lines are going the same way. The grain is going the same way on the hat. And then you're going to pull up the bottom. Now we're going to get ready to put more brim on, but on the underneath this time. So what we're going to do is make another circle like we did before. You want to flip over your hat, take your little balloon person out, and then you're going to see it looks pretty rough in here, which is fine. What we're going to do is we're going to adhere this ring to this, pressing it and gluing it on the inner rim out to the edge here. But to do that, you may have to, like in my case, you may have to snip this a little bit just to make it lay flat along here. So you don't want to go too far with it, but just snip it a little so that when you pull it back like this, it's going to lay nice. When you get that all like that, you want to start applying the Mod Podge on the under layer here. And you want to put a little Mod Podge underneath the flaps that you bent down to try to seal them down a little bit. So once you have your Mod Podge on, you want to take the ring and set it over the top and make the grain go the same way the grain was going on the top. Just snip a little bit, maybe like about an inch in, to make it more where it's going to bend around the inside of the hat to adhere it to the inner part of the hat like that. But we're going to apply Mod Podge in here, apply the inner ring first, and work our way out. So just coat this and keep pressing these down as these pieces that are sticking up, just keep pressing them down as you go. Mod Podge again with your brush, and you just paint the rim, pressing it down on the inner part, making it adhere like this. You can squeeze the Mod Podge you already put on there. You want to squeeze that to it like this as you go also. Okay, so when this is about 80% dry, then you can flip it over onto your little mat thing and kind of just press these down. But just work your way around, pressing it down and sealing it together. Now, what we're going to do is line the inside here, and to do that, I had some old fabric from something else. Cut out a 15 by 15 inch square of whatever fabric you have. Maybe it's an old shirt or something, or maybe you have old fabric you never used like I did. You want to center this where all the tips are hanging up like this, and just make it where it's going to be, each side of it is going to be at least flush with the top of the circle. Glue down in the middle there. I'm going to go for all four of these sides here. I'm going to put some glue about halfway down and just press it there. Then I'm going to go directly across and do the same thing about halfway, and just making sure, of course, that it's clinging to the bottom to line the bottom. All four sides secured about halfway down. You want to go to the spaces in between the 4 points and do the same thing, only make it a little bit closer up to the rim of it, and just adhere it like that. And again, going directly across, it just makes it more even. Trim these big edges off, these big points that we were working with. Then you just want to go under and glue around the interior rim here, not all the way to the top, but about an inch down from the top, because we're going to tuck this under like this and glue it like that. Okay, and once you've folded this under and glued that all in place down below the rim, we're going to take a piece of ribbon about 1.5 inches to 2 inches thick, like widthwise, and I cut it to about 28 inches length. And I'm just going to start working my way around, and I'm going to glue it to the very, like right under the edge there. I'm going to go ahead and apply the glue and hanging on there, and just work your way all the way around like that so that you can still lift it. So once you have your ribbon on, you want to try your hat on before you decorate it and see if you want to shape it a little different or which would be the best front. And now I've begun to edge this out, and to do that I have this really pretty lace I had from a while ago. I'm using it now. This lace, what I'm doing is I'm cutting this like this to just edge it with it, and then I'm going to take the original wide piece and I'm going to put it around the center and cover all this. What I'm using to attach this is some really good stuff. This is the first time I ever used this. I got it from Amazon. It's 1/8 inch double-sided adhesive, and it's fantastic. Like, I was using a glue gun, and that just is a pain for the most part for something like this. This is just the right width. You just stick it and then you peel off the backing, and then you stick the lace or whatever you want to put on there. Anyway, I'll put the link below in the description box. But I have this all trimmed out using this 1/8 inch tape. What I did was I took 3 strips of it, applied it around here because I'm going to apply this thick ribbon. So to start with, I'm going to just peel that off. And go about halfway and kind of stick it on there. Work my way all the way around, starting at the bottom, getting it really flush down, covering the flaws. I'm going to put the flower on now, and I'm going to put it right here with the glue gun. And you know, you can use Velcro too if you want to remove it and like change flower colors or anything at some point. But I'm going to go ahead and glue it. So I hope you've enjoyed learning how to make your own cloche hat, and now you can have your Downton Abbey party. Thanks for joining me, and until next time, have a lovely day.